I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Greetings. Happy Tuesday morning to everyone, or Monday night if you're hanging out with us. Man, can't ask for much more than that in terms of a national championship game. That was awesome. I would have won a lot more if Miami won the game, but I did win a few dollars because I had a little bit bigger a bet on the Miami plus 7.5. Great game. Honestly, this whole season was great. And something to keep in mind when you're scrolling through Twitter or Instagram or whatever it is you like to scroll on, negativity generates clicks and it generates impressions, engagement. So, guys, it doesn't matter how awesome the season is. People are going to pretend that it was like, oh, the transfer portal, the NIL. The truth is, the season was awesome when we just saw Indiana win the national championship. This was an excellent season. So just scroll past the negative stuff, man. This college football season was awesome. That game was awesome. Do you guys, any of you guys have a bet? I know Toast had Miami plus 7.5 and Miami money line like I did. Either Spoon, TV Jones, either of you guys bet this game?
Yeah, I like the.
I got in live on Miami money line. I had a good day in hoops. Went 6-3, and just thought it'd be fun to get in on it. I think I got a plus 480 or something like that. I wish I took the points.
I honestly thought they were going to win. When they got the ball back down 6, I was like, they're about to win this game because they had come back and won. Like they just did it against Ole Miss twice. I thought they were going to win. TV Jones, you bet the game?
Yeah, I like the over, didn't bet it, so I bet Indiana. Those frauds couldn't even cover with a blocked punt. So, yeah, go to hell, IU.
Like the over, didn't bet it, so I bet the favorite.
This feels like a weird Hoosiers remake.
That was such a TV Jones answer to the question, honestly. We got a ton of games to get to, so enough lollygagging. And I'm assuming we're starting off with a Spoon game because he always picks Toledo. So, Spoon, take us away here. Toledo UMass.
Toledo plus 2.5. We've been on the zigzag, backing them and fading them. Here on the road versus UMass, I think this is a really good spot. Toledo's point guard Leroy Blyden appears to be fully healthy again. That team put up a ton of fight in that loss to Kent State, and Kent State's really turning it on. They're sitting 5-1 in the MAC themselves. A very tough team, and you can't really say that about UMass. They're sitting 2-5 in MAC. Their wins are over Ball State and Western Michigan, two teams that will sit at the bottom of the conference. I don't think Toledo has what it takes to compete for a MAC conference title this year, but I do think they'll sit at the top of the pack, and I think they'll get a win versus UMass here to be able to get a couple points in my pocket. Toledo plus 2.5.
Yeah, it looks like I'm already seeing it come down to 1.5. It's actually mostly 1.5s now. You got to put Toledo plus 2.5?
Yep, I paid minus 115.
Well done, sir. Either of you guys have thoughts on this game, or are we moving on?
It would only be Toledo for me. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. We got a couple good ones on the slate for tomorrow. Tuesday.
Huge step up in competition for UMass. Like gigantic.
We're sticking in the MAC. Toledo Buffalo is up. Akron Buffalo. Akron's pretty good this year. Who picked this game?
That's me again. Akron minus 7.5, minus 110. John Gross going up against Buffalo right here. They're absolutely rolling in the MAC since they saw Miami of Ohio. Buffalo just faced Miami of Ohio. Took them to overtime. Almost handed Miami their first loss of the season. And I expect Akron to see that as a nice little measuring stick and look to open this game up to double digits. I think Buffalo has a nice team this year. They took a great step forward, but now that conference play has started, when they see the better top echelon teams in this conference, it's not going to be pretty. And even at home here, I think this is a spot where Akron wins this game by double digits. 7.5 is a great number. I think this closes closer to 9.
We start the show off with back-to-back MAC basketball games. Not our hottest start here. Either of you guys want to chime in on this one?
I have something. I'm curious to hear what Trevor has to say because he probably knows those teams a little bit better than I do. But I was leaning towards the points personally.
Yeah, I kind of like Buffalo too. I know they just took Miami, Ohio to overtime. Probably should have beaten them, but Akron hasn't really been covering games as of late. Spots they should be blowing teams out, they're not. Since the Miami, Ohio game, beat Central Michigan by 13, Bowling Green by 10, and then a 15-point win. But those spreads are always huge. So now we're getting a 7.5. It is tempting for Akron, but I think Buffalo's better than people give them credit for. They had Miami, Ohio on the ropes. They've been winning games. They're covering games too. They're getting no respect from how horrible they were last year. But I think they're a solid team. I think, they've gone up against the top dogs and played tough. Akron has struggled to be blowing teams out like they usually do. I think this is a tight game. I don't think it's a letdown spot or anything for Buffalo after the Miami, Ohio game.
Yeah, kind of the same thoughts as Trevor. I feel like Akron might be, and these guys might know these teams a little bit better than I do, but I just feel like Akron might be just a little bit overvalued because since that Miami of Ohio loss, they really haven't played anybody. Bowling Green, I guess, is a decent team, but not that Buffalo's playing a whole bunch of fantastic teams, but Ohio, Kent State, and Miami, they've been kind of through their version of the gauntlet. So now a home game versus an Akron team that's obviously good up in the upper echelon of the conference. But I thought that, I wanted to get 8 or so, but if I get that, I thought that was going to be a play on Buffalo for me.
All right.
Akron's also had turnover issues lately too. They've been turning it over a little bit more than usual, cutting down on some possessions, and Buffalo's been fine. So I might actually fire on Buffalo. I'm kind of talking myself into this.
This next one up, we're getting to the Big Ten now. Maybe I can get involved. And not so much in the talking, but maybe in the betting. Minnesota, Ohio State, and Columbus. Man, what has Ohio State done to be laying 8 here? I know Minnesota's not a great team, but it's 8's too big, right, Toast?
100% agree. Look, I have Minnesota plus the 8.5 here. I know that they haven't been great away from home, but also in that same breath, they went on the road to Missouri, their third game of the year. They lost it. They didn't play well in the neutrals. But I think part of that is that Nico getting a new team here. You got to have guys figuring things out. They lost on the road at Purdue, who doesn't? And then they lost on the road at Illinois. Again, not even a bad loss. So I think that we're getting a little bit of a discount here, getting them on the road where they haven't been good against an Ohio State team that, yes, they have looked pretty decent here or there. But, they are not a consistent shooting team. They've been shooting it kind of well over the last couple games. I figure that's going to drop down a little bit. And like I said, this Minnesota team hangs their hat defensively. And if that's the case, I think we have these two teams pretty even defensively, maybe a little Minnesota a little bit better, and you have a very limited possession amount. Absolutely. Again, if this game's close and it's a free throw battle, yes, Ohio State obviously has a huge advantage here, but I don't think we're going to see a whole bunch of possessions in this game. I think that if we're sitting here holding 2.5, 3 possessions in our pocket, we should be okay here. I'm glad that you brought that graphic up.
Yeah, see right here. So first of all, again, Minnesota's not a great team, and I think I've only watched 2 Minnesota games all year, so by no means am I a Minnesota expert, but they've been playing stout defense, and we should see a slow-paced game. Slow-paced game, defense. 8's a big number in a game like that. I could be talked onto the Gophers. Let's pass it over to Spoon. I think he lives somewhere near Columbus, doesn't he?
I'm about 2 hours away. Somebody's trying to talk me into going into this game tomorrow. I don't have a lot of interest in it, to be honest.
Do it.
Hey, I think Ohio State wins this. I don't trust them in the close games. We look at where their losses have come. Pittsburgh by 1 basket. They just barely put West Virginia away, but they tried to lose that game twice in regulation in the first overtime. Another single basket game to North Carolina. 1 possession game to Nebraska. So when they're losing, it's really tight games. But I feel like a team like Minnesota, especially outside of the barn, I think this is where Ohio State can shine a little bit. I think they open this up to double digits, but I'm not going to bet it.
So Toast said the same thing. I don't trust Minnesota away from home. What am I not seeing? They beat Northwestern on the road. They went to Illinois. It was only a 10-point game. Where are all these blowout losses on the road that you guys are talking about?
I just said that they didn't. I said last week they just didn't have a good road metric because they lost all their neutrals, and at that point they hadn't won in a game on the road besides Northwestern. So
Minnesota's competitive in every single game. They beat Northwestern. I don't understand.
I bet Minnesota. I get
TV Jones.
Minnesota's blowouts were Missouri third game of the year, then Purdue. I mean, other than that, like I guess San Francisco by 12 at a neutral. Santa Clara was an 11-point loss. I don't think that's that bad.
That's 2 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, they just went to Illinois, lost by 10. Lost to Wisconsin on a buzzer beater. They had that game. USC, they lost in overtime. They had that game by 1. They're not getting blown out. Ohio State's got Michigan on deck, too, at home. So a little bit of a look at. I think Minnesota mucks this up, makes it gross. 8 points is ridiculous. That's late with Ohio State. I'll go down with the ship with the Gophers if they somehow blow them out with Ohio or Michigan on deck.
I don't like how this is pinned 8.5 across the board, which means the market seems pretty set at 8.5. Do we think this number comes down?
I don't know. I think people back them, but you also have
not
Ohio
particularly.
State. Ohio State was just on the West Coast, I believe, without being back home if my shit would load. But
Trevor, you're muted.
Yeah, so traveling back from the West Coast too. On top of that,
They're not traveling back from the West Coast.
Spoon, he's not muted. We hear him fine. Just leave him come back because that means only you cannot hear Trevor. We can hear him.
oh yeah, they played UCLA at home.
And Spoon, unless you have Trevor muted on your computer, which would be funny. All right, let's move on. Like, oh yeah, I forgot I muted TV Jones when he was talking about Green Bay, Milwaukee, Central Florida, Iowa State. This is not one that I added. Someone picked this. This was Trevor. No, Trevor picked it. Unless you checked Trevor's box here.
No, I did take this. I'm gonna lay with it. Iowa State. This is blowout city coming in here. You got Iowa State lost back-to-back road games, and now UCF coming off of Arizona at home, valiant effort, covered, gave them a run for their money. Now you're gonna travel to Iowa State, who's lost back-to-back games. This is blowout all over. UCF isn't going to be very competitive in this game. Iowa State should win this game by 20 plus. I'm going to lay with Iowa State here. Back them at Hilton. Some Hilton magic, blowout city. Down go the Golden Knights.
Brett Sturgeon in the comments says he thinks Ohio State will take money. But anyway, Toast, you agree with that?
Yeah, 100% agree. I'm pretty high on this Iowa State team. I know that they've looked bad. I don't really know what to think of the Kansas game. That was just like a complete blowout. But the Cincinnati game, that Cincinnati team was kind of desperate. I don't know. It is what it is. It's the Big 12. Things happen on the road in the Big 12. But at home in Ames, this team has been absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I laid the 13.5. I paid a little bit of juice.
Spoon, can you hear TV Jones now?
Yeah, I can.
All right.
Perfect. I co-signed the Iowa State side of this. I'm not going to get involved with it. I think UCF is a pretty good basketball team. They've obviously shown the ability to muck it up, but another team that I just trust more at home, and Iowa State in that building is an absolute unit. So I'm not going to get in front of that. It would only be Iowa State for me, but I'm going to pass on the game altogether.
I also think, really quickly, I think that the tempo numbers for Iowa State can be a little bit deceiving. This isn't the tempo that they want to play. They're not trying to play super high. So, I know on KenPom it shows that, but if you look at Otzelberger and the teams that he runs, he's trying to slow this game down. I think they're going to try to suffocate UCF is what's going to happen. Anyway, go ahead.
Someone asked about the Discord voice chats. We just do those during baseball season. We've tried other times of the year. Just not a lot of people join. And baseball will have 40 people in there.
It's electric.
Yeah,
those baseball ones are good.
Yeah, they're awesome. But we tried other voice chats for other sports. They don't get the same in baseball. They're everyone joins that. It's a lot of fun.
Everybody people want to do one Friday night for the Giant Saturday cards. I could probably hop in for an hour and a half or so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down to join it, but if it's college basketball, I can't contribute much. So all I could do is just hang out in there. Indiana, Michigan. So Michigan just recently blew a cover to Washington. What'd they do the game after that? They only won by 10 to Oregon. Wow. So Michigan hasn't been covered. When's the last time Michigan covered?
On the road.
They didn't cover their last home game. They lost to Wisconsin, Toast.
No, I know. I'm just saying that the whole thing about us saying that them not covering on the road, it still continues. That's all.
Michigan hasn't covered a spread since January 2nd. We're coming up on 3 full weeks since Michigan's covered a spread. This is a big number. It's not like Indiana. This isn't a scrub team. This isn't Kent State. What the hell is this? Indiana? Fresh off the Natty? What is this number? Is this one I added?
I think I say points. I was going to say over 163 for me. I don't know. I feel like Michigan's going to name their number here at home. I think the pace is going to be there. I get all those, that January 2nd number, the next 4 games you mentioned, 3 of those 4 are on the road. So the Wisconsin loss is obviously a head scratcher, but I mean, Wisconsin hung 91 on them. So I don't think Indiana is really going to do that and shoot the way that Wisconsin was shooting. But I would be surprised if Michigan didn't put close to 100 up on the board. And Indiana should be able to score at least 75 or so. So over 163.5.
Jen in the comments says, how hungover is Indiana going to be tomorrow? Well, the basketball team's in Ann Arbor, about 1,800 miles from I don't think that they're going to be hungover. But I suppose the overall vibes of Indiana could be hungover. What are your thoughts, TV Jones?
Yeah, Michigan over 89.5. I want to lay with them, but they're not covering. Indiana's they're looking pretty bad, especially when they hit the road. It's kind of just blowout city by double digits. I mean, Minnesota beat them by 9, Kentucky beat them by 12, and then Michigan State beat them by 21. Now you're going to Michigan here, who hasn't covered, and they're still laying big numbers. I get it. But they should be able to dominate. Indiana, very foul-prone, sending Michigan to the line. Michigan can run and gun, steal the ball. IU's really struggling to shoot. Tucker DeVries is not looking good. I just don't see much success for IU here, but I think Michigan, like Toe said, just gets whatever they want. I think they push putting up 100 on Indiana. I honestly think this is probably something like 97-63, something like that.
Spoon, any thoughts here?
It's funny you say this isn't Kent State. Like, if you look up and down this Indiana roster, it is a mid-major roster. It's transfers from Chattanooga, Drake, just like Troy literally beat Kent State. One of their best players, Conroy, just transferred from there. So this is a mid-major roster. I think Michigan should be able to pick their number here and lay it. I'm not going to get involved.
So Michigan or pass for Spoon. Yeah, nothing for me.
I was looking at that team total too, TV Jones.
90? They can get that. Come on. I mean, Indiana's been giving up 74 to Iowa, 81 to Michigan State, 83 to Nebraska, and 2 of those were at home too. So now you're going to hit the road. They're not focused. They're up too late watching football tonight.
LSU Florida. Toast is on record saying Florida is the most underrated program in the country. Did they end up they ended up beating Vanderbilt, right?
Oh yeah. Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, big wins. Now they come home after hitting the road. It would be a Florida team total or lay it with Florida for me. But again, I think that we're going to continue to see this team get better and better. Obviously, I don't know if I'm going to actually lay the 15. I kind of want to look at the team total more just because that is 2 really big road wins for them. And then coming back home, maybe it's a little bit of a letdown spot because they do have Auburn on deck, which is a pretty big game. And LSU has been kind of down this year. But again, like I've preached on before, if they just get anything out of their guards with Boogie Fland and Xavier Lee, I think they're going to continue to get better and score a whole bunch of points. And as we've seen against on the road in Oklahoma and Vanderbilt, 96 and 98 points over 70 possessions. It's just really hard to slow this team down, especially when they get going. So the 3-point numbers have to get up, but I think they're going to continue to rise a little bit. Florida minus whatever.
I think you take LSU here. Florida back-to-back huge road wins in Norman, then at Vandy. Now they come home right before Auburn. They're 15-point favorites against an LSU team that beat Missouri, played Kentucky to 1 point, went into Vanderbilt, kept that within 11. They went into Texas A&M at Kyle Field. I'm assuming the basketball court isn't called Kyle Field, but that's what the football stadium in College Station is called. This LSU team is competitive.
Yeah, none of those teams hold a candle to Florida. But
what are you talking about? I just watched Florida and Vanderbilt play down to the wire. I watched it. I think you take LSU here. I really like. Well, I shouldn't say I really like this. I'm really considering this. If I can get a cosign from someone on the board, Spoon, I'm looking at you.
So if we look at any of these other opponents, like Texas A&M plays with a ton of pace. We've talked about it this year. It's a 3-point loss on the road. You're going to run into a lot of pace and good offense here with Florida. I could see LSU mucking this up a little bit. I just have no confidence in this team, and just I have struggled getting to the ticket window when I don't have confidence in the team, especially with a team like Florida who we mentioned was undervalued, but what was that spread? It was a 2.5 point spread with Vanderbilt. So now versus LSU, 14.5 point spread. So like they probably realistically moved 2.5 points of value just in the market off that one win alone. And I don't know if it's really worth it. LSU or nothing here.
Let's go. TV Jones?
Yeah, LSU. Florida coming off the 2 big road wins. Now you're coming home and you have Auburn on deck, like you said. This is kind of just a little bit of a sleepy spot. I mean, especially coming off the Vanderbilt game, 98-94. LSU's looked good. I mean, they beat Missouri, should have beat Kentucky, blew that one. But, I mean, Vanderbilt was an 11-point loss on the road, and A&M was a 3-point loss on the road. South Carolina was inexcusable. But they've got athletes. They're playing much better. Florida, I know, is looking pretty damn good. But they've covered 4 straight. They've got Auburn on deck. I think this is kind of a little bit of a not go through the motions, but not a full max effort game. I think Florida wins this game by like 8 or 9. I like LSU here.
Let's go. I'm betting this. Toast is he's too close to this Florida program to realize they're overvalued.
Yep.
Too close to that money.
I feel like geographically he's really far from them.
He's actually as far as someone could possibly be.
I'm in Anaheim tonight. I'm getting closer to the Gators. As my sons would say, the crocodiles are coming.
Hold on. I want to get this
The Ducks game?
All right. I got a 15.5 available.
No, Trevor, I didn't go to the Anaheim Ducks game. No chance.
What a miss.
I just went to the Vegas Knights game. It was a waste of time.
Why was it a waste of time?
Because everybody made it out to be like this cool thing. It's like, is it cool because they have a goddamn marching band that walks through the goddamn stadium and ruins it for me? I'm just trying to eat my hot dog or whatever, and there's like a whole goddamn marching band just walking through the hallway.
So so I'm following, you didn't enjoy your experience because a marching band ruined your hot dog. I just want to make sure I'm following that's how it went down.
It was a nacho, but yeah, I said hot dog, but yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
So 2 thumbs down because the band ruined your nacho.
Yeah, I mean
So you wouldn't recommend others go because of this band?
Definitely not. Especially if you're not pro marching band.
You can't even enjoy Glizzy without a marching band interrupting you. How terrible.
He goes, especially if you're not pro marching band. Are there people that are anti marching band out there?
I think I am. I think I've become pro anti marching band after that experience. Yes.
I'm in LSU plus 15.5. Let's go. Keep it close.
Why did you refer to it as a singular nacho, like not the plural of nachos? Like, was it a one? Like
he was down to his last one.
Well, there was different types of nachos. I don't know. I guess nachos.
They're all plural though.
Yeah.
So
I just drove 4 hours from Las Vegas to Anaheim with 3 kids in the car. 6 hours. Sorry, my wife said.
Miami of Ohio, Kent State. Is this team ever going to lose? TV Jones is picking Kent State. I can see it in his face.
I don't know about that.
Hold on, where the?
I'm sorry. Spoon clicked this game, not TV.
Yeah,
Jones.
I didn't click it, but
yeah, Spoon.
Miami of Ohio is not going to lose tomorrow, in my opinion. I took the money line minus 105. This line's starting to move a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see them close as short favorites here. They opened as plus 1.5 dogs, so it looks like it's already done that short flip. But I think they're the much better team than Kent State at this point in the season. They're coming off a big scare versus Buffalo at home. They hit the road. Kent State's got a pretty good home environment. I expect it to be sold out tomorrow for Miami of Ohio. And I think Miami of Ohio is kind of looking ahead to this game, and that's why the Buffalo game was as close as it was. The one big test for Miami of Ohio will be Gillespie inside for Kent State. This guy plays power forward, center, and he's an absolute beast. That last game versus Toledo, he had 29 points, 13 rebounds, 3 blocks. He's just a really big difference maker on the court. But the pace that Miami of Ohio will run with and just the size that their guards will have will really be a difference maker. I don't think Gillespie's going to be able to keep him in it by himself, and I think Miami of Ohio pulls away towards the end of this game. I don't think it comes down to the last possession at all.
Can someone shine some light? This is coming from somebody that hasn't watched a lot of MAC basketball this year. When I said haven't watched a lot, I don't think I've watched a single minute of it. Miami of Ohio is undefeated. What are they the Nebraska of the MAC? I'm assuming everyone's beating them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is
we're not
Nebraska
even polling.
of the MAC. No. Everybody will be on Kent State tomorrow. Nobody trusts them. They're like the Nebraska of the MAC.
What are you talking about? No. That is a bad comparison because on this show, everybody is picking Nebraska. And I mean, everyone in the comments, the polls are like 90% Nebraska. We're polling like 50-50. This team's undefeated.
If we go back like a few weeks with Nebraska before they had a couple signature wins, nobody was buying into it.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, maybe. But now everybody is picking Nebraska. They're going to be the heavy public side until they drop one. Miami of Ohio is 19-0.
So realistically, this is the last big hurdle. Akron was the game they were supposed to lose, and they beat Akron. So Kent State on the road, if you look at the rest of their schedule, this is the toughest test by any metrics standpoint. And just from a get-up standpoint, Kent State, their head coach has over 300 wins in NCAA basketball at this point, has won the MAC multiple times. There's no way he wants to let Travis Steele walk out of here undefeated. And especially when he has a chance in his home building, like this will be a real get-up game. I think there's a lot of people that will be on Kent State tomorrow.
This comment, I guess he's watching behind. He goes, I'm definitely anti-marching band. It's a horrible, boring noise. TV Jones, any reason to fade this undefeated team?
Yeah, Miami, Ohio's been sneaking away. I mean, Buffalo. The Buffalo game, 105-102. They should have lost that game. And the AP poll just came out today, and Miami of Ohio is a shiny little number next to the name. They are officially ranked, which means they officially go down tomorrow. Not to mention home team flipping to a dog, and then we got Miami, Ohio knocked off Kent State to end their season last year in the postseason for a chance at the NCAA at the March Madness. So Kent State's going to get this done. Miami, Ohio, they were laying 1 against Toledo and they blew them out. Now they're getting the same number again. No, thank you. They're going to lose tomorrow. Kent State, Golden Flashes, going to get this done.
Toast, any reason to step in front of Miami of Ohio, or you agree with TV Jones?
I don't agree with either. I want nothing to do with this game. Don't put a logo up for me. I think it's an absolute coin flip, if you ask me.
Coin flip, no good. Let's move on. So the next game on the board is NC State Clemson. NC State Clemson. I feel like I haven't watched either of these teams yet this year. So Clemson's laying 3.5 at home. Who clicked it?
Probably me.
Yeah, him or me, one of the two. I forget.
Well, why don't you take it away?
Go ahead.
I like Clemson. I mean, we've seen NC State. This team should be better than they are, but they don't play defense. They really struggle. Not to mention, you just lost to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech at home, like incredible. Now you're going to hit the road, play Clemson. Clemson's a great team. They've won, I don't know, what's this, 9 straight here in a row. They have Georgia Tech on deck, so nothing to look forward to. NC State defensively is not good. Clemson can really muck it up, slow it down, and make things uncomfortable for you. And their offense is not disappointing either. They're not incredible, but they're not bad. Like they're efficient, but they don't play with a ton of tempo. They'll make you work. NC State kind of soft. Darian Williams had his 2-game flash, and now he's back to just doing nothing again. I think going to Clemson, Little John is going to be a rough go for them tomorrow. Clemson should get this done. I'm going to be on Clemson tomorrow.
Yeah, I like how. So obviously, I don't know a ton about these teams, but I'm looking at this here. So NC State runs a significantly faster pace than Clemson, and then on this other one that you guys can't see, well, actually, maybe I can expand the screen. You see a big percentage of NC State's points come via the fast break, but Clemson going to slow this game down, and they don't turn the ball over, so that should limit NC State's opportunities to get out in the fast break. Why is it only 3.5 though? Doesn't that seem a little low?
Everyone loves NC State.
We're polling. Everyone in the world in this chat is clicking Clemson.
I was going to say, I don't know about that.
Are you kidding? People love NC State. They're like, oh, they're going to get right. They're going to get right. They're going to get right.
Spoon, what do you think? Is this number too short? Do you agree with TV Jones?
I agree that it's short. I don't understand why it is only 3.5 either. Probably moves to 4.5 tomorrow, but I don't have anything really concrete on this game. I do think NC State's a little bit overvalued. If we look at who they played in conference to have a 3-2 record, they have wins versus Wake Forest at home, Boston College and Florida State. So Boston College and Florida State are two of the easiest power conference wins you could have. They just lost to Georgia at home, so that's a little bit of an embarrassing loss. And I think Will Wade's a really good coach. After you have an embarrassing loss, you generally find a way to get right. So I think somehow, some way, NC State is the side here. I'm not going to bet it.
Do we not have Seton Hall St. John's selected?
What the hell?
Damn it.
I'll be on NC State. NC State plus the points.
What?
NC State on the money. NC State on the money line. Absolutely no question about it for me. Yes, they haven't looked good so far in conference, but if you look at their last 3 losses, Georgia Tech, Virginia, and Kansas, I mean, they're all shot quality grades those all as wins. So I would think that we're getting like a buy low situation here with NC State, who I think that everybody thought that they would be better than they were coming into the season. Yes, they have some bad losses, but I mean, is it really that bad to lose to Virginia right now at home with the way that Virginia's playing? Is it really that bad to lose to Kansas? It meant it looked worse then, but I mean, an overtime 1-point loss to Kansas, are we really going to mark them down for that? On the road in the jungle, okay, they give up 100 to Texas and they lose to Seton Hall. Like, I'm not ready to sell my stock on NC State just yet. I was never super high on them, but I think right now we're getting them a little bit undervalued personally.
What are you talking about? They're on the road against a ranked team and only getting 3.5. It seems like their stock's pretty high.
I mean, I would argue that the Clemson stock is a little bit higher because they've played a whole bunch of dog shit teams the last month. But that's just me.
All right, I'm not going to bet it.
NC State can fall into that category.
I get that, but I'm getting points. I'm not laying 3.5 at home against a team that I think is better in NC State. I mean, if you close your eyes, who are you taking?
73-60, 66 final.
DePaul Butler. Look, Butler won for me. Or I want to bet with Butler Reese. Oh, yeah. Butler won for me against – who did I take him against?
Seton Hall.
Against Seton Hall. Yeah, Butler won for me against Seton Hall. That's great, but laying 7.5 is freaking crazy. This team's not very good. You take the Blue Demons here. You take the Blue Demons here.
Yeah, that would be my pick. I mean, look, they haven't been – DePaul, you're going to hear people say, not these two, I'm just saying, like, you're going to see that they're bad on the road. But, again, if you look at what those teams on the road, UConn, Villanova, St. John's, and then LSU on a neutral, I mean, the LSU loss was absolutely terrible. It just seems like they didn't show up. But besides that, you're not going to fault them for the other 3 losses. So sooner or later, they're going to have to step up. But I 100% agree with you. I don't think that Butler is a very good basketball team. I don't know. I think Ken Pom had this game 9, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So we're already getting 7.5. So maybe that's a sign right there. It would only be DePaul for me as well.
Spoon, do you agree?
I lean Butler here. And DePaul is one of those teams that was caught up in the gambling controversy. They're the only Power 4 team that was brought up twice. Clearly kind of got up in their last game. Now that the flashlights are definitely signaling, I expect them to play pretty well. I'm not going to get involved with this DePaul team. I think they're bad.
TV Jones.
Yeah, I'll more
Did we lose?
likely be on.
Oh, yeah.
I think DePaul can Butler.
We lost connection.
Is
to
this
TV.
me?
No, that's all of it. We lost connection to TV Jones. I'm sure he was about to share something really enlightening there too.
TV Jones, how about a Howard Johnson? How's your internet not work?
Toast is coming in, Chris from Hojo. So
My wife said that's the password too.
Oklahoma State, TCU.
Sauce, this is your game. You told us last time you're gonna play TCU. This is your spot to circle in on.
Yeah, but what was the final score of the last one?
Which game?
Against
TCU,
Utah.
They lost by 3.
Oh my God! Yeah, you lay it here. I didn't realize exactly what I said was going to happen. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, just to put it in a little bit of context, TCU's been 1-4 in conference so far. They beat Baylor, but then they had to go on the road to Kansas. I remember they were up a whole bunch in that game, ended up losing in overtime. Then they lost at home to Arizona. Everybody's losing to Arizona. And then they go take the mountain trip for BYU and Utah, and they lose both those games. They had a really good chance to beat that BYU team. I think all of us were on TCU at the time, and that probably took a lot out of them. It was probably a little bit harder to get up for them or for Utah on Saturday night. But regardless, they're back home now with rest against the Oklahoma State team that's actually been a little bit better than you would think. But at the same time, I think this is just an absolute smash spot for TCU here to win this game by double digits. I would say that Oklahoma State hasn't been great on the road, but they play Texas Tech and Iowa State. Both those teams are a little bit better. So regardless, I think that the spot alone is just TCU all over.
Yeah, I said I was going to do this before. Hold on.
So, real quick, my question here is: we have TCU, a team that's 11-7, laying almost 9 points now to Oklahoma State, a team that's 14-4, 2-3 in conference. But I mean, their losses are to Texas Tech, Iowa State, and Baylor. Nothing bad at all. I kind of looked at this as a spot where Oklahoma State money would come in, and we might get a better TCU number. Any thoughts on that?
I wouldn't know. So if you guys have,
because TCU's now lost 4 straight games, I don't generally know the college basketball betting public to chase after those teams very hard.
I mean, it opened 9.5. It's at 8.5 now, so maybe there's some. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna. I don't know. I guess I don't know. We'll see. I have a hard time believing that a whole bunch of Oklahoma State money is going to come in. But
by the way, Kent State just switched to a favorite on Pinnacle over Miami of Ohio. All right, let's move on to the next one. I added this one on these guys. This is one they picked. And I actually just added the graphics while we were talking. One second. Oh, let's get I added the graphics in for St. John's Seton Hall while we were talking. If I can get. So this is St. John's Seton Hall. Then we need 4 people. What the? Copy. Paste duplicate. There we go. All right. So we got Seton Hall, St. John's. We're here. Real quick. I'm not even going to pull a poll up. Just real quick on these games.
As much as I love watching Seton Hall piss their season away now, losing back-to-back games, I do think it's as much as I've been, and I've also been making some money with St. John's. I think I've bet them at least 2 games in a row, maybe 3. But regardless, I don't feel comfortable laying almost 10 with St. John's against Seton Hall. I just feel like if there's one thing that we have seen with Seton Hall is their ability to muck games up late. I don't want anything to do with that with St. John's. Not to mention the fact St. John's has been so much better on the road than they have been at home. They really haven't been that great at home. It would only be Seton Hall for me. As a matter of fact, if I get 10, I'll probably take it.
Yeah, I was thinking Seton Hall also. Spoon, any thoughts?
Yeah, Connecticut kind of played with their food there versus Seton Hall. I expect St. John's and Rick Pitino to see this as a measuring stick game and kind of use Seton Hall as a example. I like St. John's to lay this number. I haven't gotten there yet.
All right, let's move on. And I guess we'll switch over to 3 people because it looks like TV Jones is not going to make it back. Who the hell picked Boise State? And it's probably TV Jones' game.
No, I picked it.
No,
I was going to say I like this one too. I could have picked this one.
Well, take it away.
This is a good game in the Mountain West, but you have a Wyoming team that's finally at home after kind of playing in a little bit. I think I've been a little bit of a gauntlet for their last 5. Sorry, guys. But, I mean, on the road at New Mexico is a loss. On the road at Nevada is a loss. On the road at Fresno, the Fresno loss, great, but you're not going to lose a whole bunch of those games. And then they lose to San Diego State, another fantastic team. And so now my point being is that I don't think that Boise State's really that big of a step up in class or anything like that. And Boise State's been pretty bad this year. I mean, there was a point when they beat New Mexico at home where it was like, okay, maybe, and St. Mary's, they had a Nevada loss in there, and it was like, oh, maybe this team is back. But since then, I mean, losses to San Diego State, Grand Canyon, Utah State, UNLV, and they finally came home and got it feels like a lucky win versus a down Colorado State team this year.
This team shouldn't be laying points on the road. This team shouldn't be laying points to anybody in the country at home or on the road right now, at least like this. It would only be Wyoming for me. I just kind of want to see what the line does, but I feel like this is a really good spot to catch Wyoming here.
Any thoughts, Spoon?
Yeah, Wyoming has a really nice home court advantage. I think they have a decent team this year. Rough start to conference play, sitting there at 2-5, but that makes a nice buy low spot. One thing, if we look at Boise State on some of the metrics, like they've really performed well on the road as far as just their ability to score, but they haven't had any really big wins. I don't think they can go in here to Wyoming and pull this off. I agree with Toast. I like Wyoming, but I don't think that many people are going to enjoy that take, and Boise State should take money. So try to get 2.5 with Wyoming. The closer we get to a full possession, the better.
100% agree.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Rutgers. This line can't be right.
Yo, no, you just have this affinity for the hate of Iowa. It's not funny.
Why are they laying 19?
That part, I agree that they probably shouldn't be laying 19. But yeah, Iowa's a really good basketball team, guys. I want to make that very clear. The Rutgers logo is going to go under my name today, but I just wanted to make it very clear that Iowa's a very good basketball team. They played a pretty damn good schedule, and a lot of their losses are on the road against some of the upper echelon teams in the country. So that being said, I just don't know if the possessions are going to be there. If you really like Iowa, maybe play a Rutgers team total under here. But again, I'm not trying to make a case that Rutgers is a good basketball team. I'm well aware they're not great. But at the same time, I just feel like you're going to be – if Iowa plays the way that they want to play, we're going to see this game anywhere from, what 57 to 62 possessions max. And if that's the case, it's just really hard to win a basketball game with a total at 138 by essentially 20 points. So it would only be Rutgers for me. I don't know. If it keeps on getting bet up to like actually 20, I probably pull the trigger.
TV Jones is back momentarily.
Yeah, I don't. Whack ass internet. Pay for good shit and it doesn't even work. I had to go reset everything.
He quote unquote, when it comes to the internet, TV Jones quote unquote pays for good shit.
I pay for the good shit, man.
Rutgers Iowa's 19 too many.
Rutgers Iowa 19 with Iowa's ridiculous. Well, we can say Rutgers won't score 89 points like they did against the Badgers. That's for damn sure. Iowa can easily suffocate Rutgers, but 19 points is insane. Out of principle, I got to take Rutgers, but I'm not betting this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I can actually do it because, like, even Rutgers home games are winning in OT. Like, yuck. It's just so bad.
Yeah, I mean, this could be so slow paced that Rutgers could lose like 63 to like
Is Rutgers
81.
that bad?
They're not good. At home in the rack is where they got a little bit of magic, but on the road, throw it all out.
Dude, there's gonna be no possessions in this game. How is Iowa gonna win by 20?
That's what I'm saying.
I agree. But when you ask if Rutgers is that bad, yeah. I mean, the overtime wins against Oregon and Northwestern. Congratulations, they won a 1-point game versus Penn at home. Yeah, it's not the same Rutgers that we know and love or once loved.
Any thoughts on this number, Spoon? 19 too many, or you think it's justified?
The math doesn't really work out when you talk about a coach like Ben McCollum and then Peichel on the other side, a defensive-minded coach. It just seems like it's going to be really hard to get to 19. But if you look at what Iowa does and how they do it, they shoot very efficiently with the ball. So they're going to take care of all their possessions. Rutgers, we've seen them perform pretty poorly versus much worse defenses than what they'll see versus Iowa. I think this number is 19 for a reason. I'm not getting involved, but I think this is probably 20, 25-point blowout.
Especially if Sturtz is just having like a decent game. It could really get out of hand.
Next game up is Air Force Colorado State. Who the hell? This has got to be TV Jones.
Yeah. This is easily me. I'm going to take Colorado State laying it. Maybe a team total over. Low total. Air Force is bad. I'm not saying Colorado State's looked good lately, but lost on the road to Boise, and then Fresno State. Fresno's improved this year, but still, Air Force is god awful, and now their coach is suspended for treatment of players or something. The last game or two, he's been gone. They lost at 70-62 and then 81-66. So yeah, tad bit more competitive, but Colorado State back-to-back losses. They can just obliterate you from three. I don't think Air Force even on a good day, if they're hitting some threes, I don't think they're going to be able to hang in. They're just horrendous offensively. Defensively, they're equally as bad. I think this is a spot Colorado State can get right. 20.5 is a big number. I think they can get this done.
Yeah, we're going to the next one, right? You guys don't want to sit here and talk about this.
I'll be on Air Force just for everybody, just for the record. So just want to point that out. So fired coach, I love it. Not to mention a huge step down in class. Utah State, New Mexico, San Jose State, Nevada. Now they're playing lowly Colorado State, who is not good this year. Who the hell is Colorado State to be laying 20 points to anybody, Trevor? You're out of your mind. Cadets up.
They're going to rain threes tomorrow.
Yeah, I will not be watching that. Next game up is Auburn Ole Miss. Auburn laying 3 points in Oxford.
Give me the Rebs.
I feel like every time we talk about Ole Miss, you guys shit on that team.
What are you talking about?
Don't roll me into that.
No, that's definitely true because we were talking about. I'll tell you.
We took them versus Mississippi State.
Yeah, I took them versus Georgia too.
No, we were talking about a game, and I'll tell you exactly who it was. I remember 2 seconds. Talk about the game, and I think it was Missouri, and you guys were like, "What good wins do they have?" And I was like, "What? They beat Ole Miss? That's a good win." And you're like, well, I don't know. You guys have shit on Ole Miss.
Well, they're hot right now.
It's context.
Yeah, but I think they're starting to play a lot better. I think we all know that Chris Beard and these guys, Storr and Dia, these guys are starting to look a lot better than they were earlier in the season, and maybe that's just finally the coaching. I don't know, but some of the losses that Ole Miss has, I don't think are that terrible either. But regardless, you're getting an Auburn team that's just so inconsistent. And yes, they have played an absolute gauntlet of the schedule from start to finish. There's no question about that. Their losses are, and we've talked about it ad nauseum on the show: Houston, Michigan, Arizona, Purdue, Georgia, Texas A&M, and Missouri. My issue is those losses are starting to stack up against teams like Georgia, Texas A&M, and Missouri. And I would argue that the way that Ole Miss is playing, they're at least better than two of those three teams. And I would love to see those two teams, Mississippi and Georgia, play. Obviously, they played again. We're going to see them play again. But I think that Ole Miss is playing really well right now. And you have Auburn out of the jungle and an Auburn team that really hasn't looked good regardless. South Carolina just took them essentially to the wire. Auburn also has Florida on deck. I think this is a really good spot for Chris Beard and the boys, especially getting points here at home as a dog. I'll be on Ole Miss tomorrow. And sorry, they don't play Georgia again this year. I said that wrong.
Either you guys agree, disagree?
I kind of disagree. I like Auburn. I know they haven't looked good on the road, but Georgia game they should have won. Missouri at home is always a different animal, and then lost to Arizona. But Ole Miss coming off of the Mississippi State win, the Egg Bowl. Prior to that was a Georgia overtime win, and then they have Auburn coming in here. Auburn, laying points on the road. They haven't won on the road since at all this year. And they're laying points. I think this is a dead spot for Ole Miss coming off of the big Egg Bowl win. And now you got Auburn coming in here who just got a scare from South Carolina, and they have Florida on deck. I think this is a get-right game. You have to got to be firing on all cylinders if you're going to go into Florida and compete. I think Auburn gets this done tomorrow. I'm going to be on Auburn.
It looks like you can get a 2.5.
Beautiful.
TV Jones thinks they're going to be firing on all cylinders. Spoon, would you agree that they fire on all cylinders here?
No, I'm not going to think that Auburn fires on all cylinders outside of their home environment at all this year. They haven't shown it to me yet. And Mississippi with Chris Beard, this is a really tough spot. Auburn's handed Chris Beard some really tough 25, 35-point losses over the last couple seasons. And now that coach is gone, but his son's still there. This roster is improved from the last couple seasons for Ole Miss, and it's down for Auburn. I think this is a sneaky Ole Miss just money line play. I was kind of curious what this line does. I haven't done anything with it as of this point.
Circa's got 2.5. Pinnacle's got 3. Looks like 2.5, 3, depending on where you look. Damn it. I want to bet this one, but I kind of agree with TV Jones.
There we go.
You guys were just telling me Ole Miss sucks, and now it's like, oh well.
Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago.
Now the market thinks they suck and they're wrong, so you bet it back up.
Georgia, Missouri. I'm looking at that Texas Tech Baylor game. That's gonna be fun. I'll get a bet down on that one. Georgia, Missouri. Mizzou laying 1 here.
Yeah. This one's kind of hard for me because I don't think. Sorry, guys. I don't think Missouri's good. Hold on. Somebody else go really quickly. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't like fading Missouri at home. Missouri at home is good. They've got some good wins this year. If I could pull them up. Of course, I can't find them. There you are, Missouri. Yeah, I mean, they beat Florida at home. They've beaten Auburn at home. They went on the road and beat Kentucky. So, good for them in SEC play. They did lose to Kansas December 7th on a neutral. So on the road. At home, you get Georgia off of just obliterating Arkansas. I just don't think Georgia's got the defense to hang in there. Like they can score points, but Missouri can too. Missouri can play physical. That place gets rowdy. Mike White on the road. I'm good. I'll trust Missouri at home and Dennis Gates off of the LSU loss on the road to bounce back at home here in Georgia. Just come up a little short in this one. I mean, you just housed Arkansas. Now you're going to hit the road and play Missouri, and you're catching a point. I'll back Missouri off of the loss back at home against a team that they can take advantage of and score points.
I don't get it, though. I'm looking at the CBB. Look at this, though. Georgia's just way better.
Well, I mean, Georgia's schedule has not been that hard. Until SEC play, their toughest games were Xavier, Clemson, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, Xavier, we're not good. Clemson lost in overtime. Other than that, they're playing like LAU, West Georgia, Florida A&M, Georgia Tech, Morehead State. They didn't have a real gauntlet of teams. Since SEC started, they needed an overtime game against Auburn to win with a miracle. Lost to Florida, beat South Carolina by 5. Ole Miss lost, and then Arkansas they just housed at home. So that was the best win of the year in conference play. And now they're going to follow it up by hitting the road and playing a Missouri team that's off a loss. I'm good. I'll take the Tigers at home with Dennis Gates. If they lose, so be it. But I think they're the better team.
I kind of think Georgia wins. Spoon, what do you think? Oh, you're on Georgia Toast?
Yeah, but Spoon, go ahead. Feel free.
I'm on Missouri money line minus 102 here. I think this is a great bounce back spot for them. Missouri's shown the ability to beat some pretty good teams at home already this season in Auburn and Florida. Also have a win over Kentucky on the road. I feel like this Georgia team is a little bit overvalued. Their non-conference schedule is 341. You can make the same argument for Missouri, though. Their non-conference schedule is 351. And they have played really well at home, though. And I just think this Georgia team is getting way too much value here. I think Missouri should be laying 3 points at open, and just the way the schedules have worked out, Georgia looks really good on paper, and I don't agree with that. If we want to use the most underrated team in the country, Florida, as a measuring stick, Georgia lost 92-77 to that team, and Missouri beat that team outright. So
that was in Gainesville.
I think when it comes to this team, I think this should be a 3-point spread right now.
I like Georgia.
Yeah, I like Georgia as well here. I just think they're the better team. I think it's that simple for me. I don't think that Missouri's that good. Yeah, both of them have talked about the schedules. The schedules are pretty equal to me. The issue is for me is that I think that you're getting this idea, and yes, you should give credit to Missouri for those wins at home. I'm not trying to take anything away, but what I'm saying is they shot 36% from deep against Florida. They shot 47% from deep versus Auburn. And yes, they've been shooting really good this year. There's no question about it. But I think that Georgia has kind of shown themselves that they didn't really play anybody coming into conference play. I feel like they looked pretty decent in conference play. Obviously, the Ole Miss loss in overtime hurts. But if you take that away, I mean, they still beat Auburn. They got housed by Florida, but they just beat a pretty damn good Arkansas team. I think everybody here thinks is pretty good, and they housed that team. So I just personally think that Missouri is not nearly as good as Georgia, and sooner or later Georgia's going to get a signature win. This might be one of them.
Yeah, I think I want to bet.
So out of the 19 games they'll played, this will be the 4th road game. One of those road games was Florida State, which nobody can lose to this year. South Carolina is their only road win of the season. Like, I don't think we have Missouri and South Carolina in the same conversation at this point in the season.
I mean, they're not.
No, Georgia's the better team here. I'm taking Georgia. I'm betting this. I want to watch this game too.
I hope you lose that bet.
I don't think that there's that big of a difference. But we'll see.
Hold on. I want to get this bet down so I don't forget real quick. Georgia. It's 9 p.m. Georgia. Come on, man. Where's it at? -110 money line. Got it. Send the screenshot, and then we'll move on. I missed all my NBA bets, so I want to get something done. All right. Next game up is... Why does it keep bringing us lower on the screen? Michigan State, Oregon, blowout. Sparty blowout.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no reason to argue with Oregon. I feel like they used all their juice. Well, I was going to say that, and they used all their juice against Michigan. But again, I'm not betting it. I just tried to pick off Sparty with Washington. Obviously, that didn't work out as well, but I don't really care. I had a great day. Regardless, I just don't know how much Oregon's going to have left in the tank. This is just brutal for them. Absolutely brutal.
Anyone have a reason to not take Sparty here?
No, Sparty in the route. Oregon, like you said, max effort versus Michigan fell short. Now you got Sparty who's going to come and beat the shit out of you too, just like Michigan did. It's gonna be tough sledding for Oregon. I think they really struggle to score. I think they struggle to break 60, 65 points in this one. To be honest, I think Sparty wins something similar, like 81-63 or something like that.
Any Spoon?
Yeah, this is a great Michigan State spot. Michigan State's head coach just calling out Cohen Carr publicly in the media, backing him. I think this is a great spot for Michigan State to look really good on the road. I don't like laying double digits with a team that plays in the East Coast time zone, though, and the West Coast on the road, second game of a road trip. I think it happens, but I'm not putting my money on it.
Toast?
Yeah, Sparty or pass. I can't add anything else.
All right. Oregon's missing 2 of their best players, so.
Yeah. But Spoon's right. It's really hard to lay multiple possessions when they're on this West Coast road trip, let alone the second leg of it.
So Michigan just only won by 10. I mean, Dane Altman's a really good coach. Like, there's a huge disadvantage of playing 3 hours behind your body clock.
They've been out there, though. The hotel amenities are fine out there. Eugene's lovely hotel town.
That's true.
Oregon's defense has been god-awful in conference play, too. Like, god-awful.
God-awful. You hear that, guys? God-awful.
God-awful.
SMU, Toast got hooked on his SMU bet. I watched the end of it, too. Brutal.
Yeah, it happens.
Can't
complain when you saw before you today on Saturday.
Yeah, I know you had a good day, but I the reason I remember that bet is I happened to turn it on and watch the last few minutes, and I knew you had +3.5.
It was my first bet too.
Yeah, I just happened to watch it.
Yes.
SMU, Wake Forest short home dog here. Any thoughts?
I like SMU again. I really think that they should have won that Virginia game. Obviously, Virginia is a very, very good basketball team. There's no question about that, especially what they've shown over the last couple of weeks. So it's really hard to ding them for that. And then they go on the road and they lose to Duke and Clemson. The Duke game was somewhat close, but the Clemson game was by 4. It's just really hard to beat this team by margin. And you have a Wake Forest team that, I mean, has played a somewhat decent schedule. You got to give them credit for that, for playing Michigan on the road early. They play Texas Tech on a neutral, which definitely helps. But regardless, they just really haven't looked good, and I don't think they should be within a possession here of SMU. I think SMU is kind of underrated right here, and I think that Wake Forest is a little bit overrated, and I know that's kind of weird, but I just really haven't been impressed. I mean, Florida State, Virginia Tech, aren't impressive wins to me. And previous to that, you have wins against West Virginia on a not even in West Virginia's true home floor, and then in Memphis, and a team that is Memphis isn't a great basketball team. So I don't think that Wake Forest is that good. I personally think that SMU should be laying personally 2.5 or something like that. So I've already bet SMU on the money line.
Do you think the market agrees? Do you think SMU will close -2.5?
I haven't looked at it enough to know, but I would.
Because I can get an SMU +1.5 -115 right now.
I would assume that they close at favorites.
Either of you guys have thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I have SMU -102 money line. I think this is a much better basketball team than what Wake Forest is. I think we're getting SMU in a nice buy low situation after losses to Clemson, Duke, and Virginia in 3 of their last 4. They got a nice home win versus Virginia Tech, packed in the middle of that. But to open conference play, they won versus North Carolina, which is one of the better ACC teams this year. And hey, I think if we break this Wake Forest team's conference play down, it looks much worse. I don't think anybody has that high of an opinion of NC State. They lost to them by 13 points, granted on the road, but they also had a nice home win versus Virginia Tech, lost to Miami, kept it very close though, 77-81, 3-point loss to North Carolina, and then they finally beat Florida State in a 1-point win. I think Florida State's one of the worst power teams. To get a 1-point win on the road there, that's the definition of playing with your food. They got the win, they get out of there. I think SMU, we get all that value from those 3 or 4 losses here. I think this number should be a lot bigger. -102 money line here.
I can get that.
Also, if you break this down just into conference statistics, like over on CBB Analytics, like you can do, SMU's played a much tougher schedule, but they still grade out better in conference, just across the board, offensively, defensively. Like, I think this is one of the better bets on the board tomorrow.
1.5 on BetMGM, Sauce.
I'm on that right now. I can tell Spoon's exact -102 money line. You guys both agree this closes well?
I would assume so, yes.
TV Jones, you agree?
Yeah, I'm not getting involved in this game whatsoever. I mean, SMU, 3 of their last 4 losses. Virginia Tech was a 1-point win off a half-court heave. So should have dropped 4 straight here. Wake Forest, not a good team either. I mean, in conference play, their losses are Vandy, NC State, Miami, and North Carolina. So some good teams are losing too. They beat Va Tech and Florida State. I don't know. I don't want to back SMU. They haven't looked incredibly great. They got that half-court heave. Wake Forest hasn't looked great either, but they are at home. It would be SMU or nothing, but I want nothing to do with this game.
I'm in. I got the -102 money line. Let's go. Stangs. All right. Next up, Texas Tech Baylor. Let's talk Big 12. First off, shout out Texas Tech for coming through on Saturday.
Hell yeah.
They blew the lead too, and then got it right back. Is this a letdown spot on the road in Baylor? It's a very short number for a Texas Tech team that I think everyone would agree is considerably better than Baylor.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a hard one. It would only be Texas Tech for me. I don't know if I can actually bet it, but
there's a -1.5. It's got to be Texas Tech. This team's so much better than Baylor.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. Yes, the scheduling spot is absolutely terrible for Texas Tech because they just got done playing BYU, which is obviously a huge game, especially in the Big 12. Now they have an away road game, a road game against Baylor, and then right after that, a home game versus Houston. So this is like the definition of a Big 12 sandwich spot for Texas Tech here. I just can't figure out a way to get to Baylor. This team gets out-rebounded like crazy. I just feel like they would have to play an absolute perfect game to beat this team. I would love to be able to be contrarian here and pick Baylor because they have played a pretty decent schedule. They played the hardest Big 12 schedule to date so far. TCU, Iowa State, Houston, Oklahoma State, Kansas. So again, the 1-4 isn't terrible, but regardless, I mean, just the way that this team looks, especially the rebounding numbers, if you look at it, is just absolutely terrible. So it would only be Texas Tech for me. Like I said, I think Baylor has to play perfect to even have this game within a possession.
Well, here's what I think. So clearly, yes, what Toe said, it is a quote-unquote Big 12 sandwich spot. They just come off the huge win over BYU, one of the biggest games of the year. Immediately after this game against Baylor, they play Houston in just a few games. They play Houston this Saturday. So you've got this road game against Baylor sandwiched in between two of the biggest games of the year. Here's the thing. Seems like the market is over-accounting for that. It seems like it's being priced as a sandwich game, but they're just like overdoing it. They're overshooting it here. You're going to miss Texas Tech at basically a pick?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I'm missing something because
no, well, it's the market's taking into consideration that's a shitty scheduling spot. I just think they're overtaking that into consideration and overplaying that. I mean, if this is like Texas Tech minus 6.5, okay, yeah, it's a shitty spot. I can see Baylor struggling here, but you're basically you need Baylor to win. Like, you need them to beat Texas Tech. Who's the fake sharp that's going to have me put a Baylor logo under their face? I'm looking at you. I'm looking right at you, TV Jones.
Man, this is tough. I mean, you got Baylor just getting embarrassed at the Fog. Just getting embarrassed at the Fog. They're coming home. They need a signature win. They need one very, very badly.
He's doing it.
I mean, obviously, like Texas Tech -2, that shit's free, right? Like, Baylor has played these teams.
They just got to win versus Oklahoma State.
That's a signature win. Sorry, I love my Cowboys guns up, but a signature win. You had your chance at Iowa State, blew it. You had your chance at Houston, got rocked. You had your chance at Kansas, got rocked. Now you got Texas Tech coming in here. I know they have Houston on deck, but they lost to Houston, so yes, maybe a bit of a look at. But I think McCaslin's going to have these guys get right. I think they're gonna just hang around. Baylor, but I'm probably not going to bet this game.
No,
I mean, they need this win like air, and Texas Tech's got that revenge on deck off of BYU hitting the road. We've seen Baylor get just smacked and not be competitive in these games, and then we're just going to hang a 2 out there, just like, yeah, go ahead, free money with Texas Tech. Like, all they got to do is win. Should be easy. Give me Baylor. No. Give me Baylor. This is the one. This is the one.
All right.
This is it. Yeah, a little early. Jumped the gun a little bit, but this is the one. Baylor and Scott Drew must have a game. They get it done against Texas Tech, and then Texas Tech, we lay it with Houston, with them getting Houston a revenge spot at home off of a loss on Saturday. That place is going to be crazy. Yeah, this is a scheduled loss for Texas Tech.
Sports scientist Jacobs in the comments also taking Texas Tech. So
everybody's gonna be on Texas Tech.
So Spoon, TV Jones is stranded on Baylor Island. Will you join him?
No, I got a Texas Tech minus 1.5, 110 ticket. I think this is a great spot for Texas Tech to get up spot. So Grant McCaslin coached for 6 or 7 years underneath Scott Drew at Baylor as an assistant coach. That's how he got his start in NCAA basketball. So definitely a huge spot for McCaslin. And in the last couple of seasons, he's kind of turned the page on getting one over on his old coach there. And I think after last year, getting in the last 2 wins pretty handily, Baylor is in a down year. We've seen this before from this program. Scott Drew will use this, turn it around, make it a better year next year. He will come on towards the end of conference play. It's really tough to play in the Big 12. You're going to have a lot of losses. Still, right now, the committee would put this team in over an undefeated Miami team, like if the bubble happened today. So Baylor's in no jeopardy of having a terrible season or anything, but I just think Texas Tech is the better team. I know they have Houston on deck, but that's a home game, and this is a road game that means a lot to Grant McCaslin. They're not going to look past this game at all. I think this closes well. Baylor's a bad team. Like, what are they going to do? Try to run a zone versus JT Toppin? Like, this is not it's not going to work. Any trick that he's got in his bag, McCaslin saw in the 7 years he coached with him.
Yeah, it would only be Texas.
Also, season ended at the hands of Texas Tech last year in the conference tournament, I should say. Revenge.
There are a couple people in the comments. Capped619 that is tailing TV Jones said, I'm a huge TV Jones guy. I believe in TV Jones. So there's a couple people on the Baylor Island with Trevor, but mostly all alone there.
If they're just giving away free money with Texas Tech at a cheap price, so be it. But They're not doing. No, Baylor's going to get this done tomorrow.
It's gonna close
Did
Texas
you abandon
Tech.
the gift horse, Trevor? You don't believe in it anymore?
What?
You abandoned the gift horse?
That's an MLB thing. That doesn't apply to college basketball.
I think you should look into it.
Trevor just walked up and stopped that gift horse in the mouth. Is what he did.
Yeah, here you go. Here's Texas Tech in basically a pick 'em. Yeah. Baylor's bad, guys. Go ahead, take this. No chance, Baylor.
That's going to close Texas Tech minus 3.5.
Fine.
Vanderbilt.
we just watched LSU be a 4.5 favorite, close at a pick 'em, and then still covered and routed. They'll be fine.
Let's talk Calipari.
Let's talk about him.
Who's a believer in this Vanderbilt team?
I am. I didn't bet it though. It's so tough. Like this is a great spot off 2 losses. It's just Arkansas going on the road. Arkansas has losses to Michigan State in East Lansing. They've lost to Duke on a neutral, Houston on a neutral, Auburn in the jungle. The only loss I don't like for Arkansas is that Georgia loss. So that's why I feel like this is kind of a bounce back spot for them as well. And I just can't get this. I think this is going to be a great game. I think Vanderbilt should win this game. I think getting the plus money with them is nice. I would like to get more than what's on the board right now, but strong lean Vanderbilt.
So Spoon is a believer in Vanderbilt. TV Jones, are you a believer in this Vanderbilt program?
No, you guys know I'm a hog, man. Love the Hogs. They're laying points. This team is good. They're just coming off of a beatdown. Would they lose by 14 or something to Georgia? Yeah, 14 on the road. They're back home. On the road, they haven't been the same team, but at home they've been good. Vanderbilt coming in here. You just played Texas. You just lost to Florida in a heartbreaker. Game you had, you gave up. Now you're going to travel and play Calipari and the Hogs off of a loss. They're laying points. No, Vandy doesn't play defense. Arkansas's offense can go bananas, and they play a respectable defense. Not amazing, but they play a respectable enough defense to where I think Vanderbilt's going to struggle here. I love the Hogs tomorrow. Just give me the money line.
Damn, I kind of want to side with Spoon here.
Well, do it.
You're on Arkansas too, Toast?
Yeah, I bet Arkansas minus 122 already. Spoon talked about it. Yes, their road record hasn't been like impressive, but look at the losses. Michigan State by 3 for second game of the season. Are you really going to knock them for that? They lose to 9 by Duke on a neutral. They have a game against Auburn where they looked terrible against the game versus Auburn, but Auburn shot 46%, I think, from 3-point land that night. Congratulations, Auburn, you get that one. The Georgia loss obviously looks bad, but again, Georgia was unconscious, shot almost 37% from deep, almost 56% from the floor. I honestly, and just call me a hater, I don't think Vanderbilt's that good. So it's not. I
don't think Arkansas is that good, dude.
I do. I think that they're. I think that.
Are
they're
you not
very
looking
good.
at the chart? Vanderbilt's is more green than Arkansas's. See the shade of the green here?
Yep, I see it. So
who has the stronger schedule?
Arkansas by a mile.
No, it's not.
It's 26-9.
Yeah,
it's not by a mile. They both have a top 25
let's
by a
look at
mile.
so they're getting bumped up on their schedule because VCU has
It factors the whole thing in that.
VCU has a 49 by their name. SMU at 35, St. Mary's 32. Memphis 90. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Arkansas has been tested way more. They've done it on the road on neutrals against the best teams in the country. I have no problem laying minus 120 with Auburn on them.
Talk to him, Spoon.
Making me want to bet Vanderbilt.
Yo, I want to bet there's a Vanderbilt +2 out here, Spoon. I want to take Vanderbilt. I was just looking at it. You can get Caesars too. You also Caesars is the only one. Has there been any action yet? Pinnacle opened. Looks like they took a little bit of Vanderbilt money. That's it, 1 cent. So no, nothing. I want to take that Vanderbilt +2 right now. When's this game on? 9 p.m. All right, I want to bet
that game will end just as we start this, and I can dance in your graves with Baylor and Arkansas.
You can dance on our graves? Jesus, it's a little dark.
Not on my grave.
For the Arkansas. For Arkansas, at least, I mean, you're squaring up with Texas Tech.
Trevor started off with his analysis. He's like, I'm a man of the hog. I love hogs. Purdue, UCLA. So I kind of think I did watch most of the Purdue USC game. I kind of think that Purdue got their West Coast laps out of their system, and they come back and lay it down here. Very nice hotel amenities in LA, right, Spoon?
Yep, checked it out.
So I kind of like Purdue, but I don't know enough about UCLA to offer any sort of opinion, so I'm all ears.
I kind of want to take UCLA here. I don't necessarily disagree with you as far as them kind of figuring things out on the West Coast and kind of getting that bad one out of the way, but they were also facing a USC team that was kind of desperate, I think, at that point, especially to look at least decent against a good team. And I think they gave them everything they had. But look, I know maybe I'm just higher on this UCLA team than a lot of other people. But again, I really feel like they're being screwed by their schedule. And I hate to be like Hurley or Mick Cronin. But, I mean, the losses to Gonzaga and Arizona, whatever. The California loss doesn't look great. But the Arizona and Gonzaga loss, throw them out the window. But everything else, I mean, Iowa, Wisconsin, Ohio State, I mean, that's a West Coast team in the Big Ten traveling to the East Coast. I mean, take it for what you want. I take it with a whole bunch of salt personally. So I still think this UCLA team is a lot better than people give him credit for. And if we know one thing about Mick Cronin, it's that he's not trying to run up and down. He's trying to play through his defense. And that's another thing that we know with Purdue is that they walk the ball up the floor the whole game. So I think that we're going to continue to see UCLA's offense evolve a little bit more. They're still trying to figure out ways to get Donovan Dent in this offense. But as long as Thibodeau can hit his shots from deep, I think that Dent can get some of his on the inside, taking with Thibodeau keeping TKR away from the basket. And if that's the case, I think that we're going to see a slow possession type of game where we're maybe pushing 60-some possession or low 60s in the possession range. And if that's going to be the case, I want all the points I can get. So I would like that Purdue to take some money so I can get like a full 6.5 personally, so I can get a full possession or 2 full possessions. But yeah, it would only be UCLA for me.
Is Sky Clark coming back for UCLA? Jen asked in the comments. I looked. He hasn't played since January 3rd.
I don't think he's coming back anytime soon.
Oh, it's long term?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I just did a Google search. I couldn't find anything. I feel like so someone said, Andy said in the comments, after Purdue, after coach just dissed everyone on the roster, they're not going to do shit. Crowd's probably going to be sorry. No one at UCLA even worried about basketball right now with the flu going around on campus. Have you considered the flu, Toast?
No, I can't remember. TV Jones said a team had a flu the other night, and I still won my bet. I just can't remember. Oh, yeah.
I said they had the flu?
Yeah.
I haven't done any flu cappings yet this year.
Trigger, I am 1,000% that you did. I'm like literally 1,000%.
No shot. I haven't talked about the flu.
Guaranteed.
Spoon, any thoughts on this game?
I lean UCLA here. This is a team that's already shown the ability to keep it close at home versus a really good opponent in Arizona. You could make the argument Arizona is the best team in the country right now, and they kept it to 4 points. Not even in this building, but a home environment. UCLA, it's tough to really fall in love with this team. They have some losses to teams like Cal by 8 points, which I don't really like that much. But I mean, respectable loss to Iowa, Wisconsin. They've shown us the ability to be a really good team, and playing on the road in the Big Ten for a team like UCLA is so much different than playing at home. So I expect them to take advantage of these home games. If Purdue can find a way to lose to teams like FDU, St. Peter's, Arkansas, in the tournament,
we're bringing up the last decade.
They can lose to UCLA on the West Coast.
Purdue got upset in 2012, so that factors in here.
Wait, Arkansas, Little Rock, St. Peter's, FDU, VCU. We can keep going with the upsets.
Years ago.
There's like 6 of them.
You're talking about a Cinderella upset in March Madness. This is a road Big Ten game. This is different. TV Jones, take Purdue with me.
Yeah, it's Purdue. UCLA is god awful. If you just want to look at some numbers here, points in the paint. UCLA doesn't get any. They struggle to shoot from the 3 too. Purdue's got 7-footers in the paint. They've got great guard play on the perimeter. They're going to make life hell for UCLA. They did get that West Coast, sleepy spot out of the way with the USC game. UCLA is not good. Matt Painter and company are going to go in there and roll them by double digits, and you're not going to hear a single peep out of Matt Painter about, the travel spot was horrible, but the guys found a way to get it done, unlike Mick Cronin. Every time he travels east by a time zone, he complains about it. Yet he was dying, and everybody was dying to get into the Big Ten. Deal with it, buddy. Purdue's going to come in here and just roll him. Oscar Clough, Daniel Jacobson are going to just dominate. Braden Smith is going to have his way with Donovan Dent. Fletcher Loyer is going to be able to hit those spot-up threes. I don't trust UCLA's offense one bit. They're fraudulent. This is just not a good team. Give me Purdue.
This UCLA team has been everywhere, by the way. They went to Iowa, then immediately to Wisconsin, then flew all the way back home for one game. Who scheduled that? Then immediately flew out all the way to Happy Valley in Pennsylvania to play Penn State, then flew to Columbus, and then flew back. They've taken 6 consecutive flights.
I don't know when they schedule these. I'm sure they schedule them a year or a couple years in advance, but I think it's just funny.
I think the conference games. Traveling. I think the conference games. I believe they know who they're playing. I don't know if the actual dates are set though.
First of all, Trevor, they didn't cry to get into the Big 12. The Pac-12 had a commissioner that spent money on bullshit and essentially ruined the conference.
Yeah,
and they had to
don't put your games on freaking Japanese.
UCLA begging to play in the Big 10. They had to play somewhere.
All right.
And they wanted to get in here, and now he cries about it. He's just a crybaby, and I think it's funny if they scheduled these after all of his rants last year about traveling. Just chef's kiss from the schedule makers for making them do all of this traveling back to back just to troll Mick Cronin.
I'm going to talk about the NBA now. So you gentlemen enjoy your night.
Doodles.
Bonus pick UT Martin plus 2.5. I got it plus 100. They're going to win outright. Have a good night, guys.
UT Martin plus 2.5. Speaking of bonus pick, I have tennis picks here that I'm going to read off.
Go Jed. Have a good night, guys.
Later. So I got some the Australian Open's on. Favorite picks for Tuesday. Nava versus Nori. So Nava versus Nori over 39.5 games. That's minus 125. Medjevovic de Minor under 35.5. Damn it. I can't even say. Liv Lynette over 21. Yeah, damn it. The names are tough for me. Anyway, let's talk NBA. I got nothing in the NBA, so this is not going to be a very climactic segment. All right, so Sixers Suns. I was on Philly in both these games, by the way. We're talking about both those games against Cleveland. They really should have won the second one. They blew it at the end of the game. First one, Cleveland just played really good game, start to finish. Second one, there was no Garland. There was no Sam Merrill. Philly still found a way to lose that one, even though they played pretty well through most of it. They did get the win earlier tonight against the Pacers. Kind of a weird game. You got both teams on back-to-back here. Suns just played in Brooklyn. Philadelphia was at home, so neither have a crazy travel or anything. Brooklyn and Philly is not far. But yeah, both these teams on the back-to-back. Suns have actually played some solid defense in their last two back-to-backs, and Mark Williams actually played in both of these games. The reason I'm bringing that up is because the Suns had been resting Mark Williams on the second leg of back-to-backs earlier in the season. But the last two times they played on a back-to-back, Mark Williams played, and the defense looked pretty good. So I would imagine Mark Williams plays. Devin Booker missed a game recently. Does he play in the back-to-back? Does he possibly sit? Let me pull up the injury report to see if there's been any updates here. Now, Paul George listed as questionable. Paul George didn't play tonight, so I don't know what the status is for him. Philly finally got a win at home. They've been struggling. I don't really have any interest in this one. I do think Philadelphia wins. Suns haven't been as strong on the road. They've dropped 2 of their last 4. When they were at home, they were winning a bunch of games. When they go out on the road, they haven't looked as strong. So I'll put Philly up, but I don't have a ton of interest in this one. I said Philly or pass. They're short favorites. Suns have played so well. It's some markets on top of it. Give me like Philly plus 2.5, and I'll do it. But One sec. What the hell? And the games aren't even in order. Of course not. Yeah, Philly or pass, yo. Next game up, Spurs Rockets. And, you can still get the 3.5. There was a Houston -3 I was considering. So I know you see Rockets laying 3 to the Spurs. There's a few people talking about it in the Discord. Like, the Rockets are laying? And I think they were considering taking the Spurs. I actually kind of like the matchup for the Rockets here. So it looks like, I think he's actually listed as doubtful, but from what I'm reading, I don't think Devin Vassell is close to coming back at this moment. So Spurs in pretty good shape health-wise, with the exception of Devin Vassell. And they're starting to miss this guy. Since he got injured, they're 6-4. They're 5-5 against the spread. So it's not like the wheels have fallen off, but offensively, they don't look very strong. The offensive numbers have really plummeted since Devin Vassell got injured. Now, you might look at the last 2 games and the last 3 games now that they played tonight and say, Kyle, the Spurs offense is coming back around. And that's true. They have now played 3 good offensive games in a row. Actually, look at those games. They played a home game against Milwaukee, who's just terrible. And then they played a home game against Minnesota with no Gobert. Minnesota's defense without Gobert isn't very good. So I don't know. And then they just played a home game against the Utah Jazz. So I don't know if these last 3 games, considering the matchups, I don't know if all of a sudden I believe in this Spurs offense. It looked really bad before that with no Vassell. And yeah, we have had some problems with the Rockets offense, but defensively they've been pretty strong. They might even be getting Eason back. He's listed as questionable. Rockets defense without Eason still been pretty strong. It's fallen off a little bit without Eason, but still pretty strong. They're just 4-5 in their last 9, 1-8 against the spread. Still got a solid defensive rating. This is still a defense that I trust. Another thing I like for the Rockets is San Antonio's really slowed the pace down recently. The way the Spurs have been playing the last 5-6 games, we're seeing the pace slow down, plays exactly into the way Houston wants to play. I think we're going to see the Spurs offense struggle like it was struggling a week and a half ago. I think they played 3 home games against bad opponents, against bad defenses. Well, Gobert, not in Minnesota, it's a bad defense. It's kind of a little bit of a sell high on the Spurs. It's also the 3rd game for the Spurs in 4 nights, 17th, 19th, and 20th. Meanwhile, the Rockets are at home, rested. They've been at home for a week and a half. So in terms of scheduling spot, very favorable spot for the Rockets. I think it's a sell high. I was considering taking Houston -3. So I'll put up Houston in this one. Yeah. It's at 3.5 now. You can't get the 3 anymore. Yeah, it's actually, I see 4. Pinnacle's 4.5. Yeah, I like the Rockets in this one, but I probably need it to be under a possession to bet it. Maybe Houston -2.5. I like the Rockets here. Next up, Clippers Bulls. Man, this is just disappointing. So we were talking about this game in the Discord like an hour and a half before the line even opened. There was like 4 of us talking about this, and we were like, "Oh, we really like this matchup for the Bulls." We're talking about why. And actually, I'll talk about why right now. So this conversation was happening before the line opened. And we're like, "Oh, when this opens, we're smashing the Bulls." Obviously, the Clippers have been a wagon, right? They're 12-2, straight up 12-2 against the spread in their last 14. That doesn't include tonight. So tonight they won, but they didn't cover. So it would be 13-2, 12-3 if you add tonight's game into this graphic. The Clippers have been an absolute wagon, but this is a tough matchup for them. They're on the road in Chicago. The Bulls might be getting Josh Giddey back, by the way. He's listed as questionable. Other than that, they're good to go. Jalen Smith is back. Kobe White is back. So they're playing a Bulls team that's definitely healthier than they were, and they might even be getting their main guy back in Giddey. That's not confirmed. Clippers have struggled on the second leg of back-to-backs. Now, to be fair, most of these were before they got hot. So they're 1-5 on the second leg of back-to-backs. Since they got hot, they did win one on a second leg, but the offense has been bad. So this is kind of a nothing graphic. But what I'm looking at is right here for the Clippers. What is the Clippers injury report going to look like in this game? Kawhi Leonard flew back to L.A., by the way. He's out for the rest of the road trip. So no Kawhi Leonard in this game. I put on this graphic question marks next to Collins and Zubats. As of right now, they are not questionable. But these are two guys that both missed games due to injuries recently within the last week. They're on a back-to-back. Don't be surprised if you see Collins or Zubats pop up as questionable at some point tomorrow morning or whenever. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of those guys sits. There's no Derek Jones Jr. has been out forever, but no Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard has been Michael Jordan for the Clippers during this run. Bulls offense does seem to be coming back around in their last 5 games. They're 3-2 against the spread. Offensive rating up close to 121. Now, to be fair, we do have to mention who it was against. They played the Jazz. And by the way, they didn't even cover against the Jazz. They won, didn't cover. They played the Nets, and they beat the Nets with no Michael Porter. He rested in that game. And then they beat the Mavs with no Anthony Davis or P.J. Washington. So we do have to consider the opponents a little bit, but Bulls offense already seems to be coming back around. This is since Jalen Smith returned from injury, by the way, this graphic. So you got a Clippers team that loves to play at a slow pace, right? One of the slowest paced teams in the NBA, coming off a back-to-back with no Kawhi Leonard, possibly no Collins or Zubats. We'll have to wait and see on those. Flying into Chicago to play a rested Bulls team that's going to sprint for the entire game. They're going to sprint for 48 straight minutes. A Clippers team that likes to run at slow, move at a slow pace. Yeah, I like the matchup for the Bulls. I like everything for the Bulls. Here's the problem. So we talked about this game. We talked about how we like the matchup for the Bulls. I was expecting the line open up, get a Bulls plus 2.5. It opened up, the Bulls are favorites. It was Chicago -1, and we were like, damn. It's now Chicago -3.5. Like, are you kidding me? Man, I just can't find an edge right now. I thought I had one. I thought we were going to get like a nice Bulls plus 2.5, Bulls plus 3. I was hoping for Bulls plus 4.5. That might have been a little bit wishful thinking. I was down to play a Bulls plus 3.5. No, they opened up as favorites. No edge at all. I'll put Bulls up, but yeah, market's all over this. So the market agrees with everything I just said and has accounted for it. So no edge here. But yeah, I do agree with the market having the Bulls as a favorite here. I think it's a favorable matchup for them. They're going to sprint up and down the court on a Clippers team on a back-to-back missing Kawhi Leonard. Someone said, TWD said, talking me into wanting to bet the Bulls. Well, that's the thing. It's a favorable matchup for the Bulls, but there's no edge if the market's accounted for it. You know what I mean? Because the Clippers are 13-2 in their last 15 games. That the number should be what? Clippers -4.5. The fact that they have the Bulls favored means the market's already accounting for everything that I said. So there's still a 50% probability on both sides. No edge. Minnesota on the road in Utah. All right. So Anthony Edwards and Gobert both active for this one. They didn't just come back. They've been back for a game or two. The reason I have back from injury graphics up there is because they both recently missed time. They're both active. Naz Reid listed as questionable. Utah's on a back-to-back. Obviously, they just played a game in San Antonio that ended a couple hours ago. Utah's actually held their own on the second leg of back-to-backs this year. They're 5-4 straight up, 5-4 against the spread. I think it's because their defense is terrible on the second leg of back-to-backs, but that doesn't distinguish it from any other game for the Jazz. Their defense is terrible anyway. Their offense has actually been fine on the second leg of back-to-backs, and they're actually above 500 on the second leg of back-to-backs so far this year. That being said, a rested Minnesota Timberwolves defense should be a really tough matchup for Utah. It should be a tough time here for the Jazz to score points. Now, their offense is pretty good, but Minnesota puts a ton of pressure on the perimeter. They want to force you inside to take contested layups on Rudy Gobert. That's what their defense is designed to do. Jazz should fall right into that trap because they're always attacking the paint. So Minnesota's going to welcome the Jazz into the paint to take contested layups. Gobert should be a really tough matchup for Utah. I don't have a ton to say about this one. Minnesota can probably score 130 points in this game if they want to. So the way I would go is either lay it. I'm not really a fan of laying a huge number on the road in Utah on the elevation. So I'll put an over up. But yeah, I don't have a ton of interest in this one. I think Minnesota scores a shitload of points. Whether or not you think Utah turns it into a shootout or you lay the big number, it's up to you. I'll put over. Someone said no Laurie. Has that been confirmed? It was a back-to-back. Markkanen's listed as questionable from what I'm seeing. Did that just get announced? Let me check Twitter. notifications. No, I'm not seeing any update here. All right, next game. Raptors Warriors. Raptors, Warriors. All right, so obviously these graphics were made before Jimmy Butler got hurt. And so I think Jimmy Butler's out. He's getting an MRI. He's not going to play in this game. I don't know if that's actually been confirmed. He's not going to play in this game. Oh, he's actually already listed as doubtful. So actually Draymond Green's listed as probable. So my injury report graphics off on this one. So is that true? Let me look at Draymond Green. He's expected to play. So Draymond Green, it says out on this graphic, it says here that he's expected to play. And Santos is actually questionable. So this graphic's wrong. Looks like Draymond Green's expected to play, and Santos might be back as well. It's Jimmy Butler that's out. So I made this graphic, as you can tell, about 2 hours ago. Things have changed in the last 2 hours. Golden State seemed to have figured things out offensively, but how much of that was centered around Jimmy Butler, right? Because that injury just happened. I don't have a ton of interest in this one. I always liked the Raptors defense. It's a unit I believe in. I would need to actually, you know what? Let me put up just real quick. I want to pull up Jimmy Butler's on-off splits, what the Warriors have looked like in the games where he didn't play. I don't even know how many games we're talking about. Let's take a look. So in the six, wow, this is actually crazy. Check this out. How do I, you know what? I'll just print the graphic out and give me 40 seconds and I'll pull this graphic up on the screen. So this is kind of crazy. It's only 6 games, so who cares maybe, but I think it's interesting enough to pull up on the screen, that's for sure. So Warriors have played 6 games. Up top is with Jimmy Butler, 22-15, 18-19 against the spread. Look at the offensive rating. With Jimmy Butler, 117.3. Without him, they're just 2-4, a 104.7 offensive rating. So the offense has been pretty terrible in the games he hasn't played. So this recent offensive surge, I don't know if we can count on it without Jimmy Butler and against a Raptors defense that is pretty strong. Problem is, I can't trust the Raptors to score either with no RJ Barrett. And Raptors are also missing Murray Boyles in this game, who's been excellent for them. One of their most important defensive pieces is Murray Boyles. He's out. So there's no RJ Barrett, no Jakob Poeltl, no Murray Boyles, no Jacoby Walter. So the Raptors are missing a bunch of players also. Yeah. I don't know. I'll say Raptors are pass. Maybe under, but I have no idea. Lakers Nuggets. All right. Lakers, Nuggets. So obviously this year's Nuggets team or the Nuggets team right now, first stop is always the injury report because there's their current situation. Still no Jokic, still no Cam Johnson, no Christian Brown. Christian Brown came back and re-injured, re-aggravated, whatever it is that was. Looks like the Nuggets will have Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon in the lineup for this one, which is big for them. The Nuggets have actually held it together since the Jokic injury. They've played 11 games since then. They're 7-4 against the spread. So the Nuggets have held it together without Jokic. But if you actually look at the efficiency numbers, hasn't been pretty. So they found a way to win some games, but they're not playing the best basketball on paper. They just keep finding ways to win some of these games. But a 117.3 defensive rating is not good at all. So Nuggets are I guess the best way to phrase it, Nuggets are definitely a little bit fortunate to be 7-4 without Jokic, especially considering the strength of schedule. Look at the bottom of this graphic here. In the last 10 games, we just said the Nuggets have played 11 games since Jokic injury. In the last 10, they're 29th in strength of schedule. In the last 5, they're 30th in strength of schedule. So The Nuggets' efficiency numbers look terrible. They're finding a way to win games. They're playing a super easy schedule. I think as a whole, we might be looking at a bit of a sell high for this Denver team without Jokic. They're 7-4 in the 11 games, but they shouldn't be 7-4. They're not playing that well. They've also done it against a very easy schedule. Here's the problem. Look at the left side of the graphic. You know who else has played a trash schedule? The Lakers. And you know who? I don't know who else has efficiency numbers that don't exactly blow you away. The Lakers. 22nd in defensive efficiency in the last 10 games against the 25th strength of schedule. How can we trust the Lakers right now? I will say, so when it comes to the Lakers defense, I think we can all agree, just looking at this graphic, and if you followed the Lakers this year, we know the Lakers can score. It's, can we trust the Lakers to generate stops? And this graphic is congruent with that. If you actually look at their recent game logs, defense might not be quite as bad as you think. Looks like they played 3 terrible defensive games. January 12th against the Kings, January 15th against the Hornets, and January 17th against the Blazers. Because you look at the last 10 games, they're 25th in defensive efficiency. But if you actually open it up and look at the game logs, 5 of their last 8 games, they actually played some solid defense. So maybe the Lakers' defensive numbers skewed a bit. I think the Nuggets are overvalued. I would love to take the Lakers here. Wow, it's a 3 now? Really? Man, when I was looking at this one, it was a pick. It's Lakers -3 now. I guess I should feel good about that the market's moving in the direction. That should raise my confidence. I liked Houston -3. It's now 4.5. I liked Chicago. It's now Chicago -3.5. So that should raise my confidence. That's the market's moving in the correct direction, but just didn't get anything down. Maybe that now that I have some confidence, I'll start pulling the trigger. I could have got Houston -3. I could have got Chicago at a pick. So yeah, maybe I should start pulling the trigger. I'm just waiting to feel confident that I have an edge. I'll put Lakers up. I think the Lakers win this game. I wouldn't bet it at current. I didn't look at Heat King. Whoops. I didn't look at Heat Kings. I know some people in the Discord like the Kings though. The Kings are I think 6-1 in their against the spread in their last 7. Miami just played a game all the way down. Wow, the Golden State ended up winning that by 23 points tonight. Miami just played a game in Golden State, immediately go to Sacramento against a Kings team that's undervalued. I'm not taking him. I'm just saying there are some people in the group that like the Kings here. Sabonis is back, by the way, for the Kings. Let me look at that injury report. Yeah, no Keegan Murray. Other than that, Sacramento's got everybody playing in this game. No Tyler Hero for the Kings. Is he out for this game too? Yep, Tyler Hero's going to miss the entire road trip. So the Tyler Hero's out for the Heat. Yeah, so there's people in the group that like the Kings. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Awesome national championship. Yeah. See you all tomorrow. New betting league starts tonight. So deadline 6 p.m. tomorrow. For those of you who want to get in on the betting league, just submit your picks by 6 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time. Everyone have a good night. Bet responsibly. See ya tomorrow.